Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Budget and Appropriation Committee has officially submitted its comprehensive report on the estimate of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026. This pivotal report, Madam Speaker, which is a product of the broad-based government, Madam Speaker, was tabled on 4th June 2025, pursuant to Article 221 of the Constitution, as read with Section 39 of the Public Finance Act, as read with the Standing Order 239 of the Standing Order. Madam Speaker, the committee's motion seeks the parliamentary approval for the issuance of over 2.5 trillion from the consolidated fund intended to finance the operations, development programs, and statutory obligations of the national government for the fiscal year ending 30th June 2026. Madam Speaker, the budget estimate coming at a time when there has been a lot of debate on resource allocation, Madam Speaker, and it's critical that I mention this. And Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the chair of the committee, the Honorable Samuel Atandi, for steering. And Madam Speaker, there's a lot of consultation. Madam Speaker, I want your protection. There seems to be a lot of consultation here by my colleagues from the lake.
Honorable members led by Peter Kaluma and Jared Okello.
I'm sure
you break up the Kamkunji kindly.
You expect the excitement, because I'm sure they're excited with the services of the broad-based government. Madam Speaker, you can see these days the people who troop State House, the people who get a lot of development pronouncement, and you can see the excitement on the face of my good friend, the Honorable Kaluma. And I was just saying, and I want the chairman of this committee to hear this. This committee, for the first time in the history of the Republic of Kenya, the Budget and Appropriation Committee has been chaired by a person from the lake, who is a product of the broad-based government. Madam Speaker, that gave us an opportunity. The lake plus Northern Kenya has been the region that has been neglected over the years, and you understand the history. Pursuant to one document called Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965. And being a member of the committee, every session I attempted to remind the chair that please, out of this opportunity, Northern Kenya and the Lake region must get a share of the national cake. And Madam Speaker, I want to confirm that out of the deliberations, this budget will be different from the other budgets, and clear provisions on water, on infrastructure, on health has been made for those regions, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank, because sometimes we say cowardice or respect or civility is not a sign of cowardice. What the committee has done, Madam Speaker, is to look at the whole budget-making framework and allow and craft it in a way that will give every region an opportunity to get a piece of the national cake, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, therefore, 2025-2026 budget is crafted within a framework of fiscal consolidation intended to strike a delicate balance between stimulating the economic growth and curbing the rise in public debt. Madam Speaker, the report also seeks to enhance domestic resource mobilization, streamline expenditures, and adopt prudent borrowing strategies. It also underscores the government commitment to reducing fiscal deficit and safeguarding the long-term debt sustainability. Madam Speaker, therefore, this proposal is anchored on transformative pillars. You have seen provisions for agriculture, food security, the micro, small and medium enterprises, affordable housing, universal health care, and digital superhighway and creative economy. Madam Speaker, these are things that were lacking. And therefore, this approval process is the cornerstone for our democratic governance, ensuring transparency, accountability, and citizens' trust in the public finance management. Madam Speaker, through the legislative scrutiny, and this is what we have done as a committee, Parliament plays a pivotal role in ensuring that funds are directed towards priority needs, Madam Speaker. And this is why, for some of us who come from a region that has been historically marginalized, when we see allocations for particular sections, Madam Speaker, and allow me to dwell on this road. Allow me to dwell on this road. The road from Isiolo, Modogash, has a World Bank funding. The road from Modogash to Samatar, Madam Speaker, was an annuity program which has been gladly sorted out by the government. From Samatar to Wajir did not have funding, and there was an anticipation that the Arab Development Fund will do something. But right now, under this budget, there's clear budgetary provision for the tarmacking of that particular section, Madam Speaker. And I want to say kudos for the head of the Ministry of Roads and Transport, Mr. Chirchir, and the committee for that particular clear provision, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, equally, there's a particular area that has been missing, and we'll be pushing the Ministry of Energy, Mr. Speaker, and I'll be asking the Budget Committee led by the Honorable Atandi to make a clear, outright determination that Northern Kenya must be connected to the national grid. Madam Speaker, Northern Kenya comprises of 70% of the landmass of the Republic of Kenya, and yet the national grid ends in Garissa. Madam Speaker, it's a high time, but because there will be no time when there will be enough resources, I'll be asking the chair, through the subsequent budgetary allocations, to make that clear determination, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, equally, there is one area, the equalization fund. I know you are a seasoned lawyer. The equalization fund, as intended, is not being applied. Madam Speaker, I want to request the leadership of BBG, the leadership of the Northern Frontier counties, the leadership of the counties that ought to benefit from this, to urgently come together and resolve some of the legislative challenges so that we get proper avenue, proper mechanism in utilizing this fund. As it is right now, the time is coming to an end, and yet there's nothing to account for on how the funds were collected, how the funds were utilized, and, Madam Speaker, very soon, the Kenyan public will ask us whether the provision of this article has enabled us to catch up with other Kenyans whom we have called the halves over the years. Madam Speaker, the other bit is Vision 2030. Vision 2030 was a roadmap to take this country to another level. Madam Speaker, unfortunately, that is not being followed. Can we come back to Vision 2030 so that that clear roadmap is also applied? Madam Speaker, the other bit is the issue of examination fees. We say education is an equalizer. There was a lot of propaganda outside there that the government has removed examination fees. That propaganda is not true. Examination, because we say education is everything. There is clear budgetary provision for examination fees, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other bit is also the issue of health, the USC staff at the counties. That issue has also been resolved, and I'm sure very soon the county government leadership will have an opportunity to confirm those career medical officers, Madam Speaker, who have been employed at mega allowances, Madam Speaker, to get an opportunity to serve their respective counties. Madam Speaker, the other bit is this. Allow me to say this, because the whole thing is rolling around politics. Once there is predictability, peace, tranquility, Madam Speaker, and civility in our politics, then there's an opportunity for the economy to grow. There's an opportunity for foreign direct investors to come. And therefore, I want to urge those who are still out of the broad-based government to use this early opportunity to see sense and join the President and the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in uniting Kenya, because that is what will take us to the next level, because we do not have any other country. Madam Speaker, once again, allow me to thank the chair and the entire members for the time they have devoted to this, and I hope and pray that the members will get an opportunity to interrogate the report and make their valued input. I support, Madam Speaker.